Our friends try to protect us because they don't want us to do better than them. How many of you recognize that? You know, it's very important that your friends have goals that you associate with. If you show me the 5 people that you associate with on a regular basis, I know everything I need to know about you without ever talking to you. Just show me the 5 people you hang with. And you don't even have to show them to me. I can just watch you every day. And I know everything I need to know about you. And I'm not just saying me, I'm just saying people in general can tell what type of person you are by the company you keep. Now, nothing is 100%, so it's not 100% in all time. But it's important that the people you associate with have goals. How many of you recognize everybody here has some type of goal? You know, y'all don't have to have the same goal, but everybody has some goal. Because you want to associate with people that are trying to go somewhere as well. Because guess what's going to happen if they're not trying to go anywhere? What are they going to do to you? They're going to try to bring you down to their level. You know, water seeks its own level at all times. So they must have some goals, you must have some goals. A goal plan has 3 parts. Your written specific goal, the obstacles that are going to get in the way of that goal, and your plan of action on how you're going to accomplish that goal and meet the obstacles that are going to come your way. Now, you're going to always have some obstacles that show up that work in your plan. Y'all recognize that? You know, how many was it easy for y'all to make the honor roll? Was it just easy for y'all? Yeah. It just came to you like a piece of cake, huh? No studying or nothing, huh? All right, good for you. Next time I send somebody to college, I'm going to tell them come hang with you. But, you know, it's not always easy to accomplish what we feel is a challenge in our life. We need something to challenge us. If it's not challenging, it might not be worth it. You might want to reassess that goal because it's very important. Now, your goal should have a date as well. Because if you don't set a date, you know, if somebody asks me, Myron, what's your goal? And I say, well, I want to get to 210 pounds. And I'll just leave it at that. 10 years down the road, they could ask me, Myron, what's your goal? I want to get to 210 pounds. And leave it at that. If they see me another 10 years, Myron, what's your goal? I want to get down to 210 pounds. Have I lied? No. Because I didn't put a date on it, I can still set that goal for somewhere in the long, near, distant future. It doesn't matter. You know, so you must be specific about your goal. It kind of reminds me of the story. This barn caught on fire. And I know y'all, especially with the drought that's going on in Texas right now, y'all can relate. We have a lot of wildfires going on in the Houston area right now. And I know y'all have probably seen that on the news, but a barn caught on fire. And the local fire department and some surrounding fire departments, none of these guys could put the fire out. And the mayor said, somebody needs to help us. And this guy said, Mayor, there's this little town up the way, these guys can put out any fire that's ever come up. And the mayor said, if they can put out this fire, I'll give them $10,000 for their department. And so they called them on the phone, and the fire truck gets there, speeds in. They drive the truck right into the fire. I mean, in the middle of the fire. And they're jumping off the truck, and they're stumping and spraying water, and they finally get the fire out. And the mayor was so impressed with him, he said, you know, I said I was going to give you guys $10,000 for putting this fire out. He said, but I'm going to double. I'm going to give you $20,000 for putting this fire out that nobody else could do. He said, now, Chief, what are you going to do with this money? You're going to buy yourself another truck? You're going to get some new equipment and new uniforms for your men? The chief said, Mayor, the first thing we're going to do is put some brakes on that truck. Talk about knowing your priorities, right? That's very important. And, you know, if you don't write goals down, somebody else is going to control your life. Somebody else is going to run your life. Y'all realize each morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or it's going to be eaten that day. And that same place, a lion wakes up and knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or he's going to starve that day. So what's the moral to that? Well, when the sun wakes up, I don't care if you're a lion or a gazelle, you better be running. And so, you know, those things are very important. And we have a lot of people in society wanting us to be mediocre. You guys have already set yourselves apart. You're not mediocre. Y'all recognize that, right? And, you know, I heard one of the young men mention earlier about being a nerd. Well, I was called that all through school as well. It's not fun in high school, is it? It's not fun in middle school, is it? But now you're at a different level in life. How many of you don't care about being called a nerd? Exactly. You know, it's a badge of honor now, isn't it? You know, and you might want to tell those people a few things that, you know, you don't have to share with me. I know from experience, you know, You know, I was an athlete taking honor roll classes at University of Houston. I didn't see any of my teammates in there. What is the perception you have of athletes? They're dummies, right? All of them aren't that way. We've just been labeled as a group. So when you come to goal setting, you know, don't share your goals with everybody. Everybody don't want to see you accomplish. And I know I might break some words up here, but I'm out of school, so it doesn't matter. You know, my English teacher's not here to grade me. Now, if she was here, now, speaking of that, I did an interview earlier this year, and my next door neighbor was a high school counselor and former English teacher, and she listened in on the interview. Well, I got a lecture after that interview about all my poor language. You didn't pronounce this word right, and you need to take a little bit more time to develop this, and yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's all you can say. And you know, I went home and told my wife, ain't nobody asked her to critique me. But I didn't tell her that, because I respected it. But you know, it's very important that, you know, find yourself a mentor. You know, this is my first time in the Northwest Texas. The furthest west I had been before was the Midland, Odessa area. And I went down there back in 1997, in November. And when I left Houston, it was about 67 degrees, so I left without a jacket because I had been in Houston all my life. And the further west I got, I said, man, it's getting cold. And when I stopped in Midland to find the exit for directions to the hotel I was gonna be in, the guy said, you're not from here, are you? Because it must have been like 35 degrees when I got there. But me, being cheap, frugal, I'm not gonna buy a jacket the whole time I'm there. The third night there, it snowed. And guess what? I still didn't buy a jacket. Because I said, I'm not gonna spend any money because I'm going back home in a couple of weeks. But find yourself a mentor. You know, that's very important. I have a gentleman that mentors me on a regular basis. And he's been in my life for quite some time. This guy travels all over the world, and he speaks to people on business ownership and attitudes and things like that. And so it's very important. That's the type of person you want to share your goals with. You want to share your goals with people that might have been down the road that you want to go down. Y'all follow that? You know, because if you go tell your buddy, you know, this is my goal. See, people that know us always figure they know our limitations, right? And so they want to tell us what we can and cannot accomplish. So they don't want you to set goals that's going to leave them behind. They want you to stay in that misery with them. You have a lot of people that don't do anything, and they want you to do it with them. I don't like to use the word change, because a lot of people reject the word change. So what I like to substitute in the place of the word change is the word improve. So if you strive every day to improve, you're automatically going to change.